Hello everyone. In the previous class we discussed about quantum numbers and distribution of electrons in the shells. Okay, so we discussed about atomic structure. Today in this class we are discussing about classification of elements and the periodic table. So you know about the element. Okay, so we discussed about this element in previous classes also. So we have so many elements. A medical shop contains a variety of medicines. Okay, so in the medical shop number of medicines are there. The shopkeeper finds difficult or impossible to remember all the names of medicines that he has. When you go to a medical shop and ask the shopkeeper for a particular medicine, he hands over it to you without any difficulty. How is it possible? Okay, so in medical shop so many types of medicines are there. Okay, so here the shopkeeper find difficult or impossible to remember all the names of medicines that he has. So when we go to medical, so in medical shop so many types of medicines will be there. So when we go to it is very difficult to the shopkeeper to remember the each and every medicine name. Okay, when we ask him for a particular tablet, then he will give that particular tablet to us. Yes or no? Think of Super Bazaar. When you step inside, you see a particular arrangement of goods inside it. So when you look for grocery that you need, you go to it and select what you want. In what way? So when you look for grocery that you need, you go to it and select what you want. In what way it makes your selection easy? Okay, when we go to Super Bazaar, when we step inside, we see a particular arrangements of goods inside it. Okay, so when you look for a grocery, what you need, you go to it and select what you want. Okay, so in what way it makes your selection easy? From the above observation, you understand that for any system involving several things, a particular order of arrangement of those things is essential. Okay, so means in medical shop so many tablets are there. When we go to medical shop, when we ask him, he will ask the particular tablet which we want. So when we ask for particular tablet, he will give that particular tablet to us without any difficulty. How is this possible? Why? Because he will arrange the tablets in one order. Okay, so means so many tablets will be there. No, so I will arrange the tablets separately. Okay, next when we go to Super Bazaar, when we want particular thing, in that also when we see that particular item, we will go to that item and we will take that. Means they will arrange so many items will be there in that. They will arrange the each and every item separately. So which item we want, we will go to that item and we will take that. So by this observation, we understand that for any system involving several things, a particular order of arrangement of those things is essential. Means when so many things are there, to take it easily, it is better to arrange them separately. Okay, it is better to arrange them in particular order. Okay, so like that, even in chemistry, from the earliest times, scientists have been trying to classify the available elements. So even in chemistry, from the earliest times, scientists have been trying to classify the available elements on the basis of their properties. Okay, so in our chemistry also so many elements are there. Okay, so our scientists so many years onwards they were trying to classify the elements by depending on the properties. About that classification we are discussing in this chapter. There are 118 elements are known which possess different chemical properties and physical properties. Okay, so therefore it is very difficult to study and remember. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, so that's why it is better to classify the elements. So what is the purpose of classification? Classification of elements is required to understand the properties of elements. Okay, so why we are classifying the elements? Okay, nearly 118 elements are there, no, that have different chemical and physical properties. So therefore it is very difficult to study and remember. Okay, So that's why classification of elements is required to understand the properties of elements. Easily, the elements with similar properties studies together, while elements with dissimilar properties can be studied separately. Okay, so what is the purpose of classification? Classification of elements is required to understand the properties of elements. Easily, the elements with similar properties studied together, and while the elements with dissimilar properties can be studied separately. Okay, so if we classify the elements which have similar properties, we can study together. Okay, and we can study the dissimilar different element properties, we can study differently like that. Okay, while elements with dissimilar properties can be studied separately. Classification of elements into metals and non-metals. So in 8th class metals and non-metals chapter, in that we classified the elements into metals and non-metals. Okay, so Lavoisier and early chemists classified the elements into metals and non-metals. So about this metals and non-metals we discussed in 8th class, 8th class 4th chapter. So which are called as metals, which are called as non-metals? Elements which were malleable and ductile, good conductors of heat and electricity, and possess the characteristics of metallic lustrous were named as metals. Okay, the elements which are malleable, ductile, good conductors of heat and electricity, and which are having lustrous property, which are sonorous, then we can call that as a metals. Okay, and the elements which are bad conductors of heat and electricity, and which were brittle, and which were the bad conductors of heat and electricity, and did not having the character like lustrous, sonorous, then we can call that elements as a non-metals. Okay, so about that we discussed. Okay, but if we classify the elements like this, discussing one more topic, need for the arrangements of elements in an organized manner. Robert Boyle, in the year 1661, he defined an element as any substance that cannot be decomposed into further simple substances by a physical or chemical change. Okay, so Robert Boyle in the year 1661, he said that element as any substance that cannot be decomposed into further simple substances by any physical or chemical change, he said. At his time, about 13 elements were known. Towards the end of the 18th century, by the time of Lavoisier, another 11 elements were discovered. By 1865, about 63 elements were known, and by 1940, the total of 91 elements from the natural source and the another 17 elements synthetically were obtained. So, towards the end of the 18th century, by the time of Lavoisier, another 11 elements were discovered. By 1865, about 63 elements were known, and by 1940, a total of 91 elements from the natural sources and another 17 elements were synthetically were obtained. By now, including synthetic elements, there are more than 115 elements are there. As the number of elements is increased, it became difficult to keep in memory and the chemistries of individual elements and their compounds. If the number of elements is increased, it is become difficult to keep in memory about the individual elements and their compounds and their properties. Okay, so in previous classes we learned that elements were classified into metals and non-metals. In 8th class we discussed, elements we can classify into metals, non-metals and metallites like that. But this classification had so many limitations. So there was a need to classify them in other ways. Hence, chemists started to frame ways to group these elements and compounds on the basis of their physical and chemical properties. Okay, so in the previous class we discussed that the elements can be classified into metals and non-metal, but this classification has so many limitations. So there was a need to classify them into other ways. Hence the chemist started to frame ways to group these elements and compounds on the basis of their physical and chemical properties. In the beginning of 18th century, Joseph Louis Proust stated that hydrogen atom is the building material and all the atoms of all other elements are simply due to combination of number of hydrogen atoms. Now we will discuss about D'Aubigné law of triads. Okay, so D'Aubigné also one of the scientists. So he tried to classify the elements. Okay, so what he said, now we will discuss. A German chemist, Johann Wolfgang D'Aubigné, noted that there were groups of elements with 3 elements is known as triads, in each group with similar chemical properties. A German chemist, Johann Wolfgang D'Aubigné, okay, Johann Wolfgang D'Aubigné noted that there were groups of elements with 3 elements is known as triads, in each group with similar chemical properties. Means the elements which have similar chemical properties, he took that 3 elements, he arranged them in group and he called that 3 elements which have similar chemical properties as a triads. Okay, he tried to give a relationship between the properties of elements and their atomic weight. Okay, D'Aubigné, he took the 3 elements which are available in his period. He took the 3 elements which have similar chemical properties and he arranged them in an order and he called the 3 elements group as a triad. Okay, so what is the meaning of triad? Now we will discuss. Triad is nothing but a group of 3 elements in which atomic weight of a middle element is the average of first and third element. Okay, triad is nothing but a group of 3 elements in which the atomic weight of a middle element is the average of first and third elements. Okay, so here this D'Aubigné, he tried to give a relationship between the properties of elements and their atomic weight. So this D'Aubigné stated that when elements with similar properties are taken 3 at a time and arranged in the ascending order of their atomic weight, the atomic weight of the middle element is the average of the atomic weight of the first and third element. Okay, this statement is called as D'Aubigné law of triads. Okay, so here D'Aubigné is stated that the elements with similar properties are taken 3 at a time. Okay, means D'Aubigné, he took the 3 elements which have similar chemical properties. Okay, he took the 3 elements which have similar chemical properties. Now he arranged them in the order of their ascending order of their atomic weight. Okay, D'Aubigné, he took the 3 elements which have similar chemical properties and he arranged them in the ascending order of their atomic weight. And what happened? The atomic weight of a middle element is there, no? The atomic weight of a middle element is the average atomic weight of a first and third element. Okay, D'Aubigné, he took the 3 elements which have similar chemical properties and he arranged them in the ascending order of their atomic weight and he said like this: the atomic weight of a middle element is the average of the atomic weight of first and third element. Okay, this statement is called as D'Aubigné law of triads. Okay, this statement only called as D'Aubigné law of triads. Once you observe the table, okay, so here this table is there, no? These elements in each row represent triad. Okay, so here in activity 1 table is there, no? Observe the table. In that table elements are there, no? 3 elements is there. Okay, so elements and their atomic weight like that there, no? In this each row 3 elements are there. Okay, what are that? First row, lithium, sodium, potassium, means 3 elements are there another. What are that? Lithium, sodium, potassium. Okay, these have similar chemical properties, means these elements having similar chemical properties. Like this, he took these 3 elements. Okay, These three elements have similar chemical properties, and he arranged these elements in the ascending order of their atomic weight. Yes or no? In box once you see atomic weight, lithium atomic weight 7.0, sodium atomic weight 23.0, potassium atomic weight 39.0. Like that, he arranged the elements in the increasing order of, in the ascending order of their atomic weight. Okay, and he said the atomic weight of a middle element, the atomic weight of the middle element, in this which is middle element? Sodium is middle element. The atomic weight of a middle element is the average of the atomic weight of first and third element. Okay, so the atomic weight of a middle element is sodium, that atomic weight is 23.0. so that is the average of the first and third element. First element what? Lithium. Third element what? Potassium. Okay, so this middle element atomic weight is there, no? That is the average of the first and third elements. First element lithium, third element potassium. Okay, lithium atomic weight 7.0, potassium atomic weight 39.0. What is the average of these two? 23.0. So the first and third element average is equal to 23.0, no? So that equal to sodium atomic weight. Yes or no? Sodium atomic weight what is there? 23.0. Equal or not? Like that. So this Daubernier, he took the elements which have similar chemical properties. This Daubernier, he took the three elements which have similar chemical properties and he arranged them in the ascending order of their atomic weight. Okay, and he called the three elements group as a triad. Triad is nothing but a group of three elements which the atomic weight of a middle element is the average of the first and third element. Okay, so this Daubernier, he took the three elements which have similar chemical properties and he arranged them in the ascending order of their atomic weight. Then the atomic weight of a middle element is the atomic weight of a middle element is the average of the atomic weight of the first and third elements. Okay, na? This statement is called as Daubernier law of triads. Like this, downside in second row some more elements are there: calcium, strontium, barium. Okay, in this also these three also we can call as a triad, the three elements also. Here he arranged these three elements also in the increasing or the ascending order of their atomic weight. Calcium atomic weight 40.0, strontium atomic weight 87.5, barium atomic weight is 137.0. Like that there, no? So here also middle element is strontium. Strontium atomic weight is equal to the average of the first and third element. Okay, first element is calcium 40. Next to barium atomic weight 137.2. Okay, average divided by 2. Then what will come? If you divide this nearly, okay, it will come 87.5. Okay, 137. Okay, what is the average of this 40.0, 137.0? Nearly 88.5 will come. Means what is the atomic weight of a strontium? 87.5. Okay, nearly 1 digit, 2 digit different will come, so nothing will happen. Means approximately this 88.7, 87.5 equal, no? Approximately. Like this also it will some 1 or 2 digit different will come, nothing will happen. Means approximately this is equal to strontium. Like that he showed the relationship. Okay. Okay, exactly 87.95 it not came. 40.0, 137.0 by 2 means nearly 88.5 it will come, no? So nearly 88.5 it will come, no? But here strontium atomic what is there? 87.5 means 1 digit different, so nothing will happen. Means approximately it will equal to 87.5 only, no? So like that also some difference will come, so nothing will happen. Means 88.5 now, here 87.5 will come. Sometimes 89.5, like that 1 digit more extra will come, 1 digit will less will come, so nothing will happen. Okay, approximately it is equal, we can consider this. So like that also he will given some more elements once you observe it. In the first row you will find that the atomic weight of a sodium is equal to the average relative atomic weight of a lithium and potassium. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Next, can you establish the same relationship with the set of elements given in the remaining rows? First and average atomic weight of the first and average atomic weights of the first and third elements in each row and compare it with the atomic weight of a middle elements. What do you observe? So Daubernier attempts gave a clue that the atomic weight could be correlated with properties of elements. He made the chemist to look at elements in terms of groups of elements with similar chemical and physical properties. So this eventually led to rigorous the classification of elements and the modern periodic table of elements. So Daubernier he showed that there is a relationship between the properties of a elements and the atomic weight of a elements. He said like that. Okay. So by this remaining chemist they understood that there is a relationship between the properties of elements and the atomic weight of a elements. Okay, the elements which have similar properties that we can arrange it into one group. Okay, so the scientist the chemist observed that. Okay, after this Daubernier, remaining chemist they observed that the elements which have similar properties that we can arrange them, that all the elements we can arrange them into one group. Okay, the think. Okay, so by that, after this Daubernier, remaining scientists also try to classify the elements. Okay, and they made different types of observations. Okay, so now we will discuss about the limitations. So in this Daubernier also some limitations are there. Okay, means he said that the elements which have which have similar chemical properties, from that we can took three, and that first and third element average is that equal to the atomic weight of a middle element is said. Okay, but in this also some limitations are there. Okay, so what are that? See here, all the elements at that time could not be arranged in the form of triads. So in those Daubernier period, which elements are there, that all the elements could not be arranged in the form of a triads. Okay, this law is failed for very low mass or very high mass of elements, and this law is failed for the very low mass of elements and very high mass of elements. In the case of fluorine, chlorine, bromine, the atomic weight of a chlorine is not an arithmetic mean of atomic weight of fluorine and bromine. Okay, the law is failed for very low mass or very high mass of elements. In the case of fluorine, chlorine, bromine, the atomic weight of a chlorine is not an arithmetic mean of atomic weight of fluorine, and bromine. Okay, so if we take fluorine, chlorine, bromine, these three groups as a triads, then the atomic weight of a fluorine and bromine is not equal to the atomic weight. The average atomic weight of a fluorine and bromine is not equal to the atomic weight of a chlorine. Okay, as the techniques improved for the measuring atomic masses accurately, this law was unable to remain strictly valid. Okay, so after some days, some techniques are improved to measure the atomic mass accurately. After that, this law was unable to remain strictly valid. Okay, so Daubernier, he gave a thought to classify the elements. Okay, in his period, which elements are there, he arranged them into groups, but this law is not suitable for the elements which have low mass and very high mass and high mass of elements. And when the techniques are improved for the measuring of atomic masses, this law was unable to strictly valid. Okay, so but he gave one thought to classify the elements. After that, one more scientist will come and he classified the elements in different manner. So like that, some modification will be there. So this our science and technologies day by day is changing, no? So in that time, Daubernier, he made classification like this. After that, Newland, by observing the Daubernier, Newland, he classified the elements into another type. After this Newland, one more type, Mendeleev, one more chemist, Mendeleev, he arranged the elements in different manner. So after that, Moseley, like the different scientists are, they classify the elements into different manner.